Good evening, and welcome to the special presentation for Friday, September 18th, 2020. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. It's my pleasure to be here. This week's presentation is entitled Enhancing Performance with the Power of the Quickfolio. VectorVest has many tools to help you enhance your chances of making better decisions in the market. This week, we're going to talk about a couple of them. These tools can be used to enhance your decisions on managing your current holdings as well as point out great opportunities for entries and exits on new positions. Tonight, we're going to look at the power of using the watch list, which is unlike any other watch list in this industry. Then, we're going to look at the power of the Quickfolio and how to use it to manage your current positions. Let's get into the software, and let's start off with market timing. From the home page, we're going to go to the Graphs tab, and we're going to change from a stock graph to a market timing graph. First thing I want to look at is the last DEW up call. That's a good, prudent, middle-of-the-road type of a timing signal. So I'm going to change here where it says confirm calls to the DEW. The last DEW up call occurred on April 6th of 2020. Let me zoom in. That was a great call to get into the market, and we just had a down call which occurred on 9/8 of 2020. So I'm going to use this market timing call for the basis of enhancing your ability to make better decisions. Now that we've got that data 4/6/2020, let's go to the Viewers tab. From the Viewers tab, we're going to go over to the Stock Viewer, which is an enormous spreadsheet of all of the stocks that we track, and currently we track 8,320 stocks. Okay, so we now know that the last DEW up call occurred on 4/6. I'm going to click on the little date calendar here, and I'm going to go back to 4/6. 4/6, that was the last DEW up call. Let's take a look at the stocks that were the top 10 on that date. 4/6. Well, that was the night of the DEW up call. Humana, eHealth, Audio Codes, Regeneration, Centene, Vertex. A lot of, well, not a lot, but a few pharmaceuticals are in here. That's fine. So what we're going to do from this date, we're going to do a quick folio of the top 10 stocks. So I'm going to click here at the drop down for Quickfolio. It says top 5. Let's go to the top 10. All right, let's do a quick folio from that date. We're going to leave it as Quickfolio 1 based on a $100,000 portfolio. The commission is going to be none. Nobody's charging commissions pretty much now. We're not going to use margin, account for interest. These are all bullish stocks on that DEW up call, so the purchase type is long. I'm going to come back to stop criteria in a second. Let's click on OK. Now we've created our Quickfolio. Let's open it up. It's known as Quickfolio 1. So from that date, we had a great opportunity to buy from our stock viewer. We're up 5.86, 5.87%, which is great. But pay attention to what's going on with the equity curve of the 10 stocks. Out of the gate on 4/6, this was a great opportunity to make money on the top stocks, top 10 stocks of the VectorVest software. We're up on 6/1/2020. We're up almost 21%. You'll notice that we're up 20.55%. Man, that's a good call. Let's say we fell asleep, we held on to the stocks, we went down to a value of about 10.5% on 6/26. And then you wake up and go, oh man, what's going on? And you leave them alone. They peaked again at 21.67%, and that was on 7/22. Now, hopefully you learned to stop falling asleep and use the power of the software to help you. And that's where looking at the list of stocks will help you. So remember, we're making money. The market's going down. We're still making money on great stocks that we found in the software. But I want to show you something. Let me go back to the Viewers tab. And I want you to see the top 10 stocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? Do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here are the top 10 stocks that were in that list. Notice something? Every stock had an RT above 1. Stocks were in an uptrend. Number 2, notice that Cigna, even though it's at the top 10, had a sell recommendation, and that's because the stock's price of 173.49 was below just slightly the stop price of 174.47. So technically, if these were the stocks that I were going to buy, I probably wouldn't take that stock. But for the sake of argument, let's take a look at the raw data. All right, so every stock is above the RT value of 1. They're all in uptrends. And somebody's going to say, well, how can I have a sell recommendation if RT is above 1? Well, it's because the stock's price of 173 was below the stop price of 174. Fundamentally, the stock was sound. It was, but it was just slightly below the stop price, thus issuing a sell recommendation. All right, so keep that in mind. Let's go back to the portfolio. Notice that as we hit that second peak of 21.67%, as we continue to move along the way, do you not think that RT would have been a great indicator to start closing out positions? That'd been a great way to start getting closer to that nice level of 21.67, holding on to more profits. Number two, sorting by ROI, we can see that even though the market is falling, or the stocks in the portfolio are falling, we're making money on these positions. Now, RT helps you to keep from being greedy on the position. As soon as RT goes below the value of 1, or number 2, the stock gets a sell recommendation, that's your line in the sand to say, all right, let me take your profits off the table. The Quickfolio gives you the opportunity to not be emotional on the trade, using the power of relative timing, looking at the ROIs to see, you know something, I may be up 16.5% on audio codes, but RT is below 1. I probably could have captured a lot more profit than 16.5%. But you know something? I'm now using the portfolio. I'll take the profit off the table and go on about my business. Now, let me show you something else. A lot of people feel that the brokers see your stops and they get you stopped out of your positions. Let's do this. Let's click on Edit. I'm going to build a custom trading system off of that portfolio using the DEW. All right, that's the timing signal we're going to use. Now, notice that we looked at the top VST stocks. I'm going to say that we would have just taken the stocks and put them into that portfolio. So I'm not going to fill from any other search or a Derby or a Super Watchdog. I'm going to click on None. Now, I can put stop criteria. And you know what's a great stop criteria that your broker doesn't see? How about RT less than 1? That's a great stop criteria. All right, on the more settings, close any open position. We're going to leave that alone. On the automation rules down, that's probably a good opportunity to go to cash. All right, so we use the DEW up to get into the stocks. We're going to use the DEW down to go to cash. If I click on finish, all right. Now, what do I want the genius to do when the position meets the stop criteria? We're going to put all of the power in your hands. I'm going to click on Send Alert Only. Now, because this portfolio is in place, you know something? I'm going to change that go to cash. And for the down, I'm going to put no action because right now, based upon that, it's going to close all of the positions. So I want you to see how you have control over this. I'm going to click on no action on the down. Okay, click on finish, but this is important. You still have the ability to make the call on what you want to do with the stock. So instead of closing the position, we're going to send an alert, and every night you check to see if any of your stocks hit your stop. All right, we'll click on save. And at this particular point in time, we're going to apply it to the existing positions. And guess what? Let's go see if we get any alerts. Look at that. We've got 8 alerts. How many stocks are below the value of 1 on RT? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ta-da! So as the stocks get to an RT below 1, showing you that the stocks are in a downtrend, I didn't put to close them. I put it to give you an alert so that every night you come look at this Quickfolio of the stocks that you own. When RTs go below 1, you can get to close them out. That is the power of using the Quickfolio to manage your existing positions. And guess what? If you had started doing that, this 5.77 would be a lot higher, probably much closer to that value of 21.67%. You would have locked in a lot more profit. So, folks, that is the ability to use the Quickfolio to manage the stocks that you own. Now, if I go back to edit, I'm going to show you something else. Going to the, actually, I'm not going to do it that way. Let's go to reports and let's go to transaction log. Now, if you want this portfolio to mimic exactly what you've done in your real world portfolio, and you see here it says Humana at 327.47 on 4/6 when we got the up call. How about you highlight it? You can click on edit. And now, whoops, let's do one more thing. Let's click on edit and turn this off. Aha, good thing we're walking through this, right? Let's click on edit. Okay, there's our portfolio equity curve. Now let's go back to transaction log. Let's go to Humana. I can edit it. I can see what date I actually bought. I can change my share price if it was different than what I actually got in my broker, how many shares, the whole 9 yards. And now this Quickfolio can resemble what you've actually got in your actual portfolio, but still using the power of the VectorVest Quickfolio to manage the trades. That RT less than 1 is not a stop that you will find with your broker. All right, so that's one part. Let's go back to the Viewers tab. I've created a watch list. So let's go to the watch list viewer and you'll see it. You actually will see it only here, not in your software. So before you call up the product support staff on Monday and say, hey, I don't have this special presentation folder in my software, you will not. We've created it here for the purposes of instruction. All right. So I'm going to go to a watch list that I created called My Candidates. All right. So these are stocks that I could be interested in, and I'm looking at it as of today. All right. So these are stocks that I was interested in. Let's take this back a day. Let's say I was interested in, let's say the market was really rocking and rolling, which it isn't right now, but let's say it was. Let's change the date to go back to preparing for today's activity back one day. All right. So here's my candidates. Why did I pick these stocks? These are stocks that a lot of people are interested in. Tesla, it just recently split. Is it a good time to get into it? Facebook is making the news. Old Dominion. Apple, I still think is one of the best stocks in the whole wide world. But let's say you're not in Apple. It also split. You put all of the stocks that you're interested in. NIO is in the electric vehicle space. I'm telling you, green energy or clean energy is a hot industry. Visa is a tried and true stock. Maybe you're not in it and you say, I'm really interested in getting in it. Procter & Gamble, Amazon, a new stock that just hit the market as an IPO yesterday, Snow, Gilead in the coronavirus space. So these are possible stocks that I'm thinking about getting into. Well, let's say that again. We looked at this yesterday. We built this watch list of my candidates yesterday. I'm going to do a quick folio of the top 10 to see, we're going into today. Let's see out of my candidates, which ones I might want to pull the trigger on. So I'm going to do a quick folio of the top 10. We're going to call this quick folio 2, $100,000 portfolio, no commission. This is also a bullish portfolio or watch list. We're going to click on long. I'm going to wait for stop criteria in a second. We'll click on OK. Open the portfolio now. So between yesterday and today, Quickfolio 2, we're down about 0.5%. But wait, out of my candidates, a couple of them are moving. So now I can look at my candidates, use the power of the Quickfolio to determine which stocks are the ones that I could really think about getting into. So Tesla's up almost 4%. Keep in mind, today is a down day looking at 918, but 2 stocks are moving. RTs are both above 1. So now what do? I look at their graphs. Let's go highlight both of them. Right click, view the stock graph, and there, let's put this on a 3-month graph. This is a simple graph looking at a 40-day simple moving average, relative timing, and earnings per share. So possibly I look at getting into Tesla because the portfolio says it's moving up. Well, from a graph perspective, what would I really look for? 1, is the market moving up? That's the most important thing. 2, if the market is moving up, let's see if we can break above that level of resistance before I pull the trigger. RT looks good. Earnings per share looks good. Let's go to the next stock. This is a brand new stock. So it had a lot of buzz on the day that it opened up. It gave back a lot because the buzz hit. A lot of people made a lot of money, and then people got out. Stock's moving a little sideways. I'm looking at RT. I'm looking at earnings per share. I would still say this is more of a speculative play right now based upon the newness of the stock. So just keep that in mind. But I love the idea that I can build a watch list of my candidates, going back to the Viewers tab, and use the power of the Quickfolio. And guess what? If the market keeps moving up, if it does, you keep running this as a quick test over and over and over. Well, if I set this up on 9/17, every day we keep going higher as far as days, I leave this portfolio or watch list on the date of 9/17 and just keep quick testing it, and I'm going to find out of my candidates which stocks are working. Now, this can work conversely. If the market is going down, then maybe your candidates are stocks to play to the downside. Or how about you create a watch list of contra ETFs and do the same thing? So the purposes were to show you the power behind the watch list, to build your watch list, but more importantly, to use the power of the Quickfolio to manage the trades that you're currently in, using that RT as a factor of getting out. And for those stocks that you're looking to get into, use the Quickfolio to pinpoint the right entries for those stocks. Look at their graphs before you pull the trigger. And that's what it's all about. So folks, you know me, I love simplicity. This is a great way to enhance your performance. Quickfolio is a tool that I don't think is used as much as it should be, but now you've got the information on how to better use it. So with that, folks, I'd like to say thank you for joining us for this presentation. We will have a Q&A session on Monday. I believe it's going to be at 2 p.m. If you have any questions about that, join me there. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions, or if there's questions that our product support staff can answer for you, please give them a call. And with that, folks, I want to say have a great weekend.